guys, before we get started with this video, I would just like to say if you're enjoying my content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a big ol' smack for me. It helps the channel out a lot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hey there, everybody. Happy, whatever day of the week it is when this is being uploaded. If it's Tuesday, happy Tuesday. If it's Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Whatever. Happy whatever day of the week it is for you. Welcome to Connect the Dots Episode 3. Now, it's been a while since I've actually updated this series, so I wouldn't blame you if you have no idea what this is. Like, Barney, what in the world is Connect the Dots, and why is there already 3 of them? Well, to give you a quick rundown of what this series was and what I'm trying to bring back, Connect the Dots was a series where I would get in contact with owners or extremely high ranks of the games that I troll at, and I would get into Discord calls with them and we would interview each other. I would first allow them to ask me questions, whether that be about trolling, why we troll, about the YouTube industry, about me personally, and then I would sorry, my chair is squeaking here. Then I would ask them questions, whether that be about their industry, why they do what they do, what is their opinion on trolls, do they hate trolls, how do they deal with trolls, you know, things like that. And the reason that I did this was because I think a lot of times us trolls and the games we troll at have a lot of miscommunications, and a lot of times there's hostility between us, and I felt that a good way to try to bridge the gap between us would be to better understand each other. And what better way to do that than to ask questions, get to know each other, right? That's kind of how human interaction works. Now, of course, the name Connect the Dots is kind of a play on words because, of course, a lot of people in these kind of games like to go ... all the time, you know? So I figured Connect the Dots would be a kind of fun little name, little play on words there. I thought I was kind of creative on my part, not to toot my own horn, but I did a pretty good job on that name there. So in this episode, I'm interviewing 2 Washiez high ranks. One is a head corporate, and one is a chief administration officer, or administrative officer. I'm sorry, I didn't pronounce it right. So these are 2 people that are pretty high up in the Washiez hierarchy. Hierarchy? That was a weird word. Ranks, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. So I thought they would make for good interviewees. So we had a pretty long interview, so I'm going to split this up into probably 3 parts. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's jump into that interview, shall we? Okay, so this is Connect the Dots number 3, I think? It's been a little bit. Well, first off, what should I call you guys? Because you guys have multiple different names, so what should I call you?
You can call me Kat.
Okay.
Rachel or Rach is fine.
Okay. Alright, so Kat and Rachel then. Obviously you can call me Barney, you know my name. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with, since you guys are the guests here, you guys can ask me questions first about, if you have any questions about, I don't know, trolling community, trolling in general, the YouTube industry, whatever it may be, you can ask me questions first and I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Okay. I have one. Okay. Do you have any suggestions, like, regarding Washiez as a whole? Like, the establishment as a whole, if you were to look at it from an outside point of view.
If I had it from an outside point of view,
like, I was wondering from your perspective as you are a troller, if you will. So I from their point of view, which I usually don't get, I thought it'd be beneficial.
Okay, well, let me see. Obviously, I can't speak for all trolls because, you know, we're all different. But that's a hard one. That's actually a really hard one because, like, the main thing that I thought about was the whole spoiling package thing, which was what I made a whole video on, and there's a whole video dedicated to that, so I probably don't need to talk about it again. But let me see. Maybe, well, and this is just from my point of view, maybe not sell ranks. I mean, that's just me. I don't think that's going to change, but that's just my personal opinion, is that selling ranks can a lot of times lead to bad things happening, but I seriously doubt that'll change. But that's probably the best thing I can give.
That's very understandable.
Yeah, it's definitely an understandable point of view. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of, like, the leadership team or anything, but I can't really tell you why we sell ranks, and I don't want to lie to you, so I'm not gonna tell you, like, an answer that I don't know. But
that's fine.
Rachel might know.
Well, I came into Washiez, like, pretty much, very much after the process of, like, deciding whether we're rank selling or not. But before Washies, I was very like against it. I've never really liked rank selling. I still don't love it, but like you kind of just have to deal with it because it's not up to me.
Yeah.
However, I do think that rank selling when I first got here was definitely a big negative because when I first got here, there was like a ton of issues. And this was like June 2022, so not too long ago. But it was like every 2 seconds there was like a demotion for someone like admin abusing because they bought their rank either to do it purposefully or they just didn't know. But like since I got here, there's been like a lot of changes about like the staff panel, which I think you're familiar with, where you can warn and jail people. That's a big like change that happened that helped with rank selling not being such a bad thing. But yeah.
Okie dokie then. Do you have any questions for me, Rachel, about regarding anything?
I'm gonna take one of Kat's questions.
Okay.
But what is your favorite part about Washies and like doing trolling videos at Washies in particular?
I don't think you're gonna like my answer. Just gonna put it on record right now. Probably blocking the exit. I really do enjoy doing that, and I know you probably don't like that, but I'm just being honest. I really enjoy blocking the exit. It's fun.
That's
Honestly,
really fair.
when I used to moderate, that was my favorite place to moderate, so I guess that goes hand in hand.
Very true. That's so true. Buddy, I'm sorry, but viewing it from a different point of view than how I view Washies, I've never really thought of it that way, and I think it's so funny that your favorite part about Washies is blocking the exit. People actually join the game because they enjoy spamming and blocking the exit and like causing issues. I never thought of it that way. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the spamming part, at least not often, but blocking the exit is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I would say you should try it yourselves, but you can't. You can't really do that.
That
So
probably would not go down well.
no. Alrighty. So, any more questions you guys have?
I have one more.
Okay.
Sorry. What drew you to start trolling and doing your videos at Washies? Like, I know we kind of just touched base on that, but like, what drew you to Washies? What was your main reasoning to doing your videos there?
Well, I would think it was probably from a fan telling me about Washies existing, because the way I learn about places existing is from people telling me, because my main home grounds, so to speak, for trolling for a long time was Frappe. But then people would tell me about, hey, you should troll at this place and that place, and then I would check them out. So if I remember correctly, Washies was one of those places that I was being told to try trolling at, and I trolled there. And at first it was a little confusing because I was used to the cafe games, and Washies is a lot different than a cafe game. So I thought to myself, oh, I'm never going to enjoy this. I might just do this for a video and that's it. But no, now I even troll off camera at Washies quite a bit. And that's rare for me to troll off camera, but I troll off camera quite a bit at Washies. And so I really enjoy it now, and I think it's because it's different from a cafe game, which is like there's a dime a dozen on cafe games, whereas a car wash game, I think I know of Washies and one other, and that's about it for car wash kind of games. It's different.
I think that's a good thing. That it's a different type of game, and that was kind of the point of that question, was like, did you view Washies differently than the other games that you troll at? Because I was looking at your videos last night, and I was like, oh, so you trolled at Frappe. There was a video, I don't remember what other game it was, like Soros maybe, or another restaurant. And I was like, oh, so he usually doesn't do, like, games that are interactive, if you will, like Washies. So I thought that was cool. That's why I had that question.
Alright, yeah. It is definitely different, for sure, and I enjoy that very much. Any other questions you guys have?
I think that's it.
That's it? Kat, are you all set, or do you have some more?
No, I'm all set.
Alrighty then. Alright, so I guess we'll switch it over then to the questions that I have then. And this is probably questions that a lot of trolls have as well. So there's quite a few of them. So brace yourselves. This is probably a good one to start with. So what is the story of what got you to where you are? What were the steps that led into it? Which one of you wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Is this for like Roblox groups in general or just Washies?
I guess we could do both.
Okay, well, I've been doing Roblox groups since like summer of 2017. which is a very long time ago. But there's a lot that happened between then and now. So for Washies in particular, I was a high rank at Bakey's Bakery before
Oh,
it was sold
Bakey's.
and shut down. Yes. I was chief operating officer for many, many years. And when it was sold and shut down and all that, I was vice chairwoman.
Oh, wow.
But before all that happened, I got a message from one of like the chief staff officers. She was a close friend of mine. She still is. But she introduced me to the game and we played it. We cut in line a little bit. Um, and I messaged the owner of the game because I had never heard of any car wash groups before, and I was like showing my support to him, which is Debvisor. So I messaged him, we talked a little bit, and he was saying that he had some issues in his human resources department. So he offered me a spot to help fix those issues. So basically, I went from like junior corporate and I worked up to chief human resources officer. And now I am a chief administrative officer. So I kind of do a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So, Kat, what is the story of what got you to where you are, and what were the steps that led into it?
Well, for groups as a whole, Washiez is one of my first groups, actually. I mean, I've worked at other groups, like, I worked at Bamboo, like, and Sorrows and all those groups growing up, but, like, I never became a high rank or anything. But for Washiez, I found Washiez through a friend who came over my house, because unfortunately I had surgery over the summer, so I couldn't really do
Oh.
much. So my friend came over, and, we were playing Roblox games. She's like, I have a game that's really, I troll here. And I'm like, oh, okay. We went, and she was trolling, and I didn't want to troll. Like, I just didn't feel like it. So I stood there, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I ended up joining the game, and I kept playing, and I bought Shift Leader.
Oh.
And I met there's a senior corporate, right now in the operations department who was also a Shift Leader at the time. And I saw him in game, and I was like, and we became friends. We played a couple times, and then he told me about the communication server, so I joined. And from there, I worked up through the ranks, and I still did. Rachel promoted me to the first corporate intern ever.
Oh, that's
in-
interesting.
In September, end of September, and I have still worked up from there. I've been a head corporate for a month, actually, a month today, but yeah, I didn't have the same story as Rachel, but
Oh, that's
I
good.
worked
It's
up
different.
to the issues.
Yeah, that's a good story. Yeah. What I find interesting about Kat's story is that it was actually a troll that led her here. That's quite interesting.
And I think that's a thing for everybody. Like, everyone has a different story, but like, I think I've talked to a couple people who have the same answer as me. I know somebody who wanted to work up at trainings to head operator so they can get a stop sign.
Oh, really? To stop a specific person?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Holy mackerel. Okay. So, this is where you're going to have to be really honest here, and no holding back, no sugarcoating. What is your honest opinion on trollers? It's the big question here.
Okay. When I first started playing Roblox, like joining these groups and everything back in like 2017, 2018, I was definitely not a fan of anybody who like trolled and gave people a hard time and all that stuff. But over time, I think like I've almost like adapted to the dynamic between like trolls and our groups and everything and how it like works and all that. But I'm like also a genuine believer that like both sides have like a really big impact on how the platform works, kind of like if there weren't trollers consistently joining, I don't think there would be like much for like the people who moderate to do. So I think
Exactly.
like there's a reason for both sides to be there.
Yeah, that's definitely that's one perspective that trolls have said too, like, oh, you wouldn't be anywhere without us, which of course that's a bit of an extreme way of putting it, but you know, so it's interesting to hear that from your perspective, that yeah, that trolls do kind of give us something to do. Do you hold any kind of disdain for trollers anymore?
No, I actually find them quite funny. If they're like harmlessly trolling, like they're not doing anything like disrespectful or anything crazy, I think it's really funny and it's like entertaining to the people around them. Like obviously we have to like moderate and do our jobs, but I think it's fun. Like one time, for as an example, I'm currently in HR at Bamboo as well. I one time there was these trollers and we were like playing along with their trolling, because we were being lenient and all that, but we had them like run laps around Bamboo.
What?
It was so funny because we were like playing along. I don't know, I can't remember the exact situation, but it was like me and like one of the developers, we were like running around having them do laps. So like I don't remember what it was, but it was really funny. And I think that's like one moment where I was like trolling is not like this like crazy thing to me. It's just like, oh, it's like people having fun and like things like that.
Yeah, if it's done right, absolutely. I'm just imagining like the running around the restaurant thing. That must have had something to do with their act that they were putting on, I'm imagining.
Yeah, it was a mess, but it was really funny.
Alrighty, so Kat, what is your honest opinion on trollers? No sugarcoating, just your honest opinion.
So obviously, when I was like an MR rank, or a supervision team now, if you will, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when the ones that were disrespectful and the ones that were causing a lot of issues, I wasn't a big fan of. But I have the same answer as Rachel, as I began to adapt to these people, and I, from a perspective as an MR and now as an HR, they've just, if they weren't there, especially at the car wash, the game wouldn't be fun. Like, and by that I mean not the ones that cause issues, the ones that are like ramming and blocking and that type of stuff. If the game wasn't chaotic, it's not fun. It would just be repetitive. And like I think that's something that we've touched base on before, is that like if these people aren't here, we don't have an outline of the game. We don't have things that are different throughout the game. Like, and I'm not saying the ones that spam and are disrespectful to people and the ones that cause issues. I'm saying the ones that are like ramming and blocking and that type of stuff, like I said. But like the ones that are disrespectful, I obviously don't have I'm not necessarily a fan of. But we can't stop anybody, and we can't do it. All we can do is moderate it, and of course you have to moderate it either way, but it gives it gives people jobs to do. It gives like an outline and a backbone, if you will, of our game, and that's something I appreciate. And I've become to like I know some of, I'm not gonna say trollers, but some of like LR ranks that don't necessarily want to work up or don't want to like go above a certain rank, if you will, and I think that they also are a pretty big backbone of our game. Like I think that you guys are like I appreciate you in a way, because we wouldn't have a fun game if it wasn't for these people.
That's a interesting perspective to hear, and I bet that's gonna surprise a lot of people to hear that from both of the interviewees, saying that, yeah, in a way, in a certain way, we appreciate trollers coming in. But of course, like you both said, not the ones that are disrespectful or rude or worse, because, I mean, I've seen quite a bit of toxicity from us trolls. I've seen it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I made this video a long time ago. It used to be my channel trailer called Trolling versus Bullying, and it was essentially where I went over the difference between the two terms, because some people think it is the same thing, trolling and bullying. I am of the opinion that they can be similar in a way sometimes, but there is definitely a line between them. So I'm wondering what you guys would define the difference between trolling and bullying is.
I think that, like I said earlier, trolling is like very harmless. Like in our game, I would consider trolling to be like ramming, saying like jokes and stuff, cutting in line, that kind of thing. But I think bullying is like more severe. Like offensive things, disrespect, that kind of thing. And I think that as Roblox groups have like kind of evolved, if you will, I think that a lot of groups have like a guide. Most of the groups that I work in have like this severity guide now. And back before, like in 2017, we would just like 3 warnings and then you tick them. But now a lot of groups have it where like severity 1, you would have like trolling and things that are harmless, you would have like a warning and then a kick and that kind of thing. And then there's like severity 2 where you would ban if they're bypassing, and then severity 3 like permanent ban if they're exploiting. And I think that's really helpful. And like as we've evolved, we've kind of like not gotten more lenient, but like separated the two sides.
I did not know about that there was a severity system that was used by a lot of groups. That's actually news to me.
Yeah, I don't know about every group, but a lot of the groups that I work for have some sort of like guide, whether it be actually written in a document or if it's just like common knowledge. But yeah, it's actually really helpful.
That's interesting. That's probably going to be news to a lot of people too. So, Kat, what would you define the difference between trolling and sorry, I can't speak. Trolling and bullying would be?
Well, I think that like bullying is an issue within games still, like, but there's more people that are able to handle it. You know what I mean? Like, I hope this comes across the right way, but like we have more of supervision team, and like we used to have a rank called board of directors, which then evolved into our junior director, senior director, head director, management ranks. So we got more people that were able to be in game continuously in different time zones and different like people who handle stuff, and we were able to like she said, the severity guide, which helps these with our management team. So I can't speak either. With our management team, it helps them know how to handle certain situations, and they're trained to handle certain situations. And I think that like that is important to help with these things. And I think that they also know like the definition of bullying and the definition of trolling. Trolling sometimes, with like Rachel said, within our game is like cutting the line, blocking, ramming, that type of stuff. And I think they know, like, if someone is bypassing slurs, that type of stuff, they know that it's a ban or a P-ban and that it's able to end quickly, which is important within our game because we still have those people. You know what I mean? We still have these people who are bullying, and I think the definition between those two terms is large, but you're able to know how to differentiate it. Does that make sense? Because I can't speak to that there.
So I think what you're trying to say, in essence, is like that people who can handle bullying. I think what you're trying to say is that you have people in your team who have a thick enough skin to be able to not be affected by the more harsh trolls. I think is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, if you will, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. All right, so here's an interesting one. Have you ever felt genuine offense because of something a troll said or did to you or someone else?
I think, in a way, things that people say can be offensive, definitely if they're, like, commenting, like, on somebody's, like, I don't know, like, the way that they are, like, things that they can't change, that would be offensive. But I think also people say things that they don't really mean it that way, and people take it personally, or they take it more than they are meant to take it. But I've never been in that situation, but I think I can understand where others have been.
So you've never personally taken really any offense from something that a troll has said to you?
No, not that I can remember, but I have, like, been around a little too long to still take things like that to heart.
That's fair.
I don't know. Yeah.
What about you, Kat? Have you ever taken genuine offense because of something a troll said to you?
Yeah, probably I have. I can name a couple, but I don't think I should, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I definitely have. There's been some really hurtful things said to me, but from like recent occurrences and stuff like that, I mean, I think now I have a thicker skin and I've stopped caring, because all in all, it's someone behind a screen who I know some people definitely have malicious intent, but like the definition of trolling sometimes doesn't have a malicious intent behind it. Like, you make YouTube videos to do it. Like, that's not a malicious intent. And you don't exceed a standard of, like, bullying, like the last question. So, like, I think I've grown a thicker skin regarding, like, offensive stuff, but I think when I, like, first started working here up until I think recently, I think I took these things to heart, which I've stopped doing.
Well, that's good. Yeah, definitely good. Because, I mean, if you're going to be in not just like a Roblox admin position, but if you're going to be in any kind of position where you're dealing with the public or having to deal with, just being responsible for people, you need to know how to take a hit. Even though it's not a pleasant experience, it's never going to be a fun experience. It's something you're going to inevitably deal with, whether you're like a Roblox admin. I have to deal with that as a YouTuber. People in real jobs, so to speak, deal with that. Like, think about people in customer service positions. I mean, they probably deal with that every single day. So, I mean, it is definitely part of the job. It's unfortunate, but it is the truth.
I'm also in a customer service job. I work in a restaurant. So, like, thinking about it, you know, I had work from 12 p.m. today until I got home an hour ago.
Oh, boy.
It was, it was a busy day, and I had people yell at me, and it's, like, that's a good way to put it. I didn't think of it that way, but, like, you just put it, like, I deal with it online, and I deal with it in person. So, that's a good way to put that.
Yeah, that does not sound fun. Oh, man, I feel bad for people who work at restaurants. God bless people like you who deal with that crap at restaurants. Holy crap, man. So this was a very long interview. Like, raw footage, it was like an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm not going to upload a super long video like I did with Decade in the Making. So instead, I'm going to split this up into multiple parts. I'm going to guess at least 3 or 4 parts, because it was a long interview. So this is the end of part 1, but there's still much more to go. So if you guys did happen to enjoy this, make sure to let me know by leaving a like and to subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what you thought, because I need to know what you guys thought if I'm going to keep this series going. So anyway, thank you for watching part 1, and I'll see you in part 2.